Today on People Now, terror strikes New York City. 5 friends celebrating their high school reunion are among the dead.
People goes inside the baffling Sherry Papini abduction case. Will new details finally lead to answers?
And Selena Gomez is single, and an insider says Justin Bieber's sights are set on his old love.
Plus,
right now we're fine. One hand, one eye, one eye.
Yeah.
2 people, 2 kids. I gotcha.
Mila Kunis reveals why she and Ashton are only having 2 kids, and her Bad Moms co-stars have some amazing, embarrassing mom stories.
It was like, ah.
And People gives you exclusive access inside This Is Us star Justin Hartley's magical wedding day.
Plus, People celebrates 25 women changing the world. The stars sharing how they overcame the naysayers and achieved success.
They all said I couldn't do any of the things that I'm doing now, and I'm doing all of them somewhat well.
Good morning, Facebook Live and People.com. Welcome to People Now, and happy November. Can you believe it? November obviously meaning the holiday season. It is racing up upon us. Big day. Starbucks has unveiled their new holiday cups for the season. First thing I noticed when I walked in today, of course, holiday movies are, there's the cup. Look at it. It's a little less red. You can color it, they say. So we'll see how many people are sitting on the subway coloring that thing in. Holiday movies also on the way. We're hearing from the hilarious cast of A Bad Moms Christmas, which hits theaters today. In honor of the holiday season finally being upon us, we want to know, what is your favorite way to get into the holiday spirit, even if it's really early to do it? It's our Facebook question of the day. Let us know your answers in the comments. But first, here's what you need to know and what's trending today. A trip of a lifetime for friends of more than 30 years ended in tragedy on Tuesday after a New York City terrorist attack left 8 dead and 11 others injured. A group of former schoolmates from Argentina were celebrating the 30th anniversary of their graduation in New York City and enjoying a bike ride in Lower Manhattan when the group was hit by a truck careening down the bike lane. 5 of those men were killed in the incident. The driver's rampage ended when he slammed into a school bus several blocks from the World Trade Center Memorial. He was shot and subdued by police and is now in the hospital. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Worship of the Argentine Republic confirmed the 5 casualties Tuesday night and said that another friend on the trip is currently in the hospital recovering from his injuries. In a statement, the Argentine government expressed its condolences to the families of all those who were killed. Meanwhile, Belgium's Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister also expressed condolences on Tuesday after learning that a Belgian citizen was among the casualties as well, telling the Belgian news agency that the victim was a woman from Western Flanders who was on a city trip with her sister and her mother. They also said 3 other Belgians were also wounded in the attack. Now on to this totally different note here. Justin Bieber has his sights set on that same old love. Although fans are still mourning the breakup of Selena Gomez and The Weeknd, pop star Justin Bieber is more than happy his on-again, off-again ex is now newly single. A source close to the Biebs exclusively tells People Justin is happy Selena is single. He hopes to regain her trust so they can get back together. I guess Justin probably itching for Selena to keep him company, but does she feel the same way? We will be revealing some inside sources who say a romantic rekindling between the superstars would not be at all that surprising. That'll be coming up a little later in the show. Make sure to stick around for that. But first, we move on to this. This week's People is diving into the unanswered questions surrounding the Sherry Papini abduction case. Authorities saying they've combed through more than 600 tips on the case that has captivated the nation since the young mom vanished while out for a morning jog last November. Last week, they finally released more details about the alleged abduction, including police sketches of 2 female abductors that Sherry described to police, audio of her husband Keith's initial 911 call, and the fact that both female and male DNA evidence was recovered from Sherry's clothing and body. Authorities also dropped this bombshell. Sherry had been texting with a, quote, male acquaintance in the Detroit, Michigan area about meeting up in California just days before she went missing. Sergeant Brian Jackson of the Shasta County Sheriff's Office says it was a, quote, prior contact that she had years before, somebody she met and kept in contact with. Jackson, though, refuses to address speculation that the 2 may have had a romantic relationship, saying, quote, we aren't ready to release that. But he did confirm police went to Michigan and ruled him out as having any part in her disappearance, and that Sherry and the mystery man did not meet up last fall. Other than that, police know that Sherry resurfaced after 22 days badly battered with her long hair chopped short. She said that she had not been sexually assaulted in captivity, and her medical exam confirmed as much. But despite weekly contact with the Papinis, authorities admit they have little else to go on, and lots of questions remain unanswered, including why would Sherry have been taken and then released? Sergeant Jackson says police have not yet determined a motive for her abduction and are having trouble figuring out why someone would go to the lengths of keeping her in captivity for 22 days just to let her go. Equally as perplexing for experts is the fact that there was no ransom request during those 22 days. Bill Garcia, the San Diego private investigator who worked pro bono for the Papini family last year, brings up a discrepancy in the evidence that he admits nags at him even today. Sherry's phone was found by her husband, Keith, on the ground along her jogging route with torn pieces of her hair tangled in the headphones as if she had been grabbed. But he reveals that her earbuds were also rolled up in a little coil and placed neatly on top of her phone. To him, those details don't add up if she was forcibly taken. And another burning question, will a DNA hit solve this case? Unidentified male DNA was found on her clothing and unknown female DNA was collected from a swab on her body. Sergeant Jackson says he's hoping so, that it will add to something. He adds, quote, "Nothing has come back yet, but when it does, that will be a good day." On to this, guys. This Is Us star Justin Hartley officially tied the knot with longtime love Chriselle Staus over the weekend, exactly 4 years to the day after they first met. The happy couple exchanged I-dos in an intimate outdoor Malibu wedding surrounded by family, close friends, and plenty of dancing co-stars. Chriselle tells People that she knew Justin was the one the moment that she met him. She revealed she immediately texted a friend writing, "I found him." The feeling was more than mutual for Hartley, who says, quote, "I knew right away, I think it was meant to be." The ceremony featured pink and white rose petals, hand-picked tableware, vintage mirrors, signature drinks, and more. The couple exchanged handwritten vows in front of 75 guests, including Hartley's tight-knit TV family, Mandy Moore, Milo Ventimiglia, Chrissy Metz, and Sterling K. Brown. They were all in attendance for that big day, had a blast goofing off in the photo booth and dancing alongside the new groom. Following the ceremony, guests sat down in a rustic and romantic outdoor dining area with chandeliers hanging from the trees and pale pink peonies adoring the tables. But perhaps the most touching moment came from the involvement of Hartley's 13-year-old daughter, Bella. Watch.
She has been such an amazing part of our relationship. And sometimes you look at things before you start dating someone and you think of something as like an obstacle. And then of course it turns into something so much different where it's an addition and it's something that brings you closer together. Definitely. She gets to be the flower girl. She gets to be the ring bearer. And her and her dad are going to do a special dance on the dance floor, which will be a really sweet moment.
Yeah, and some very special moments there. Sounds like it was quite the fairy tale wedding. The new bride telling People, "The wedding exceeded anything I could have ever imagined. They don't make them any better than Justin, and I could not be more thrilled to officially be Mrs. Hartley." Well, guys, it's November, which means Christmas is right around the corner. If you're searching for a laugh-out-loud flick to get you in the holiday spirit, A Bad Mom's Christmas hits theaters today. In honor of the highly anticipated sequel, we asked the cast to spill the beans on their most embarrassing mom story. Safe to say their answers did not disappoint. Watch.
You know the baby monitors? So when my son was a newborn and I was visiting with friends, I can't believe it's like, and I'm like, new mom, I had to fart loud. And I went upstairs, I was like, you guys, I'm gonna go check, I'm just gonna check on Leonard, I'll be done. And I went upstairs and I just was like a shofar, like it was like, ah, and then I heard my husband downstairs and he was like, Catherine? I was like, yeah, and he was like, monitors on. I was like, oh, did you hear that? What was that? That was so weird. Was there like a devastating?
That's
devastating.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I'm
anyway.
so proud of you for
I had to
saying
share it. It
that.
really feels good actually. Get it out of my system.
Look at Kevin.
But we were crying, we were laughing so hard. Anyway, new mom story. That was a new mom story. Everything's shifting. Thanks, guys.
Let's hear it for Catherine for sharing that,
Yeah.
for feeling open enough to
share
share
it.
that with us.
Here you go. I got one, but I wasn't really embarrassed. I felt more bad for the UPS guy. Like I was like, oh, I'm sorry. With my first day and my second, my door was unlocked, and my UPS guy's really sweet, and I've had him for years, and he always kind of drops off a package, but you can see him through the glass window. And at one point, I was just shirtless because I was hot. And I was just like with my baby, and I was super like 3 days postpartum, so it still was like pregnant. So yeah, and I was just like hanging out, didn't even think about it, like naked, skin to skin with my baby, and he just kind of like puts the package down and looks up, and I was like, didn't even care. I didn't even care. Totally happy. But he felt so guilty about it and so bad that I was like, don't worry about it. So I guess that could have been an embarrassing moment, but I was like in bliss. I was like, my baby.
Oh, amazing. And I speak from experience when I say every parent can relate to all those kinds of moments. And while we're talking mommyhood, the film star Mila Kunis currently has 2 children with husband Ashton Kutcher, but is she itching for a third? Watch.
what? As far as I know, I only have 2. I will only have 2. But I have heard 2 to 3
Is the hard one.
Well, now, right now, we're fine. One hand, one eye, one eye.
Yeah.
2 peoples, 2 kids. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Put third
It's
one
a
in there,
table.
one of them's off. I don't know to the races. But I do think that people that have like 2 kids that grow up and are like 10 and 8 and play with each other and can take care of themselves, and then they go off and have a baby, it's easier than do 4-2 baby.
See, good insight. So they're sticking with 2.
No,
so.
yeah. All right, let's check in with Facebook Live. We're asking you, what is your favorite way to get into holiday spirit since it's finally November, which is crazy.
Yes, Ashley says, I watch Christmas movies all day and night when not at work from now until January. Starts early.
Kate says, bake with the kids. Our favorite is stained glass window cookies and, of course, shopping. Shopping for the holidays is stressful, though. I think start now. That's probably...
Yeah, I have a friend
I always wait
who's
until
already
the last
finished.
possible second.
Yeah, me
Really?
too.
Already finished?
Yeah, and I'm like last minute, like day before.
Like the day before. It's always a bad idea.
Keep the Facebook comments coming in. We'll check back in with you again soon. But first, Andrea, more for us in Star Trek.
Yes, Jeremy, love is in the air. We're kicking off Star Trek with some wedding bells. American Horror Story actor Colton Haynes and 4 Seasons artistic director Jeff Leatham exchanged I-do's in Palm Springs over the weekend, tying the knot in an intimate nighttime ceremony. The couple, who asked guests to wear black and white to the celebration, announced their engagement this past March after Colton publicly came out in May of 2016. When asked about his close relationship with Jeff, Colton says, "It's just amazing when you find someone who teaches you to love yourself more. When you learn to really love someone, it's completely life-changing." Well, longtime friend Kris Jenner served as the couple's officiant, and other big-name celebs showed up to show their support, including Chelsea Clinton, Melanie Griffith, and Modern Family's Jesse Tyler Ferguson. Well, big congratulations to the happy couple. Speaking of the one and only Mama Kris, it's been 10 years since Keeping Up with the Kardashians first premiered, and momager Kris Jenner is not going anywhere anytime soon. The reality star matriarch says she has no plans to retire, telling people, quote, "Being busy and working hard is instrumental in a long, healthy life. It's important for your mind, body, and spirit." When it comes to balancing managing and parenting, Kris says her family will always come first, saying, "I love my kids more than anything, and it gives me such joy to see that they're following the path they love." Well, Kris jokes that the CEO of the family tends to change day by day, and this week, the 61-year-old mama reveals the CEO is Kim Kardashian West, who's taken on the very important role of organizing this year's family Christmas card. We obviously cannot wait to see the results because the Kardashians are known for taking some of the most over-the-top Christmas photos. And if Kim has anything to do with it, we think it'll be pretty fabulous. We'll stay on People.com to keep up with all the latest Kardashian updates. Watch this.
For me, all you need is a little miracle. Miracles we think are these massive things, but miracles are really the small, minute moments of that spark.
And that's Dancing with the Stars' Victoria Arlen, who knows a thing or two about miracles. Arlen is opening up in this week's issue of People about the rare autoimmune disease that left her paralyzed for 4 years, and her miraculous recovery that gave her a new lease on life. The story starts when Arlen was only 11 years old. She began experiencing frequent colds, then numbness in her feet, and it quickly turned into something much, much worse. Take a look.
It took about 2 weeks for me to become completely paralyzed because it started with the dragging, and then it was the buckling of my knees, and then it was the worst pain known to man that started in my toes and just kept traveling up, which we didn't know at the time, but it was nerve pain, so it was the nerves dying off. I equated to like a circuit breaker in a house. All the switches kept shutting off, and so I'm literally watching my body just shut down. At least with the pain, I still had feeling. And then there was nothing. From there, it was about a month, and then I was in a vegetative state.
And little did she or her doctors know that she had 2 extremely rare autoimmune conditions that cause inflammation of the spinal cord and brain. Arlen has no memory of the next 2 years that would follow. And when she did begin to regain consciousness, she woke up in a body that she couldn't move. She describes the emotional struggle she faced to hold on. Take a look.
It felt in many ways that I was like just standing on this playground, and the ladder was living and the slide was dying. And it was way easy to slide down, then climb back up.
But climb she did. First, Arlen regained control of her eyes. And she says after that big milestone, it was miracle after miracle until 2016 when she took her first steps in 8 years all by herself. Well, ready to make up for lost time, she set some lofty goals that helped her win gold as a swimmer in the Paralympic Games, learn to walk again, and not only compete, but excel on this season of Dancing with the Stars. She says, quote, "This is the first year that I can finally just live, and I'm going to make it a full life." Well, such an inspiring story. And those are your Star Tracks for today.
Still ahead, guys, we're celebrating the 25 women changing the world. And Pink, Gal Gadot, and Demi Lovato are sharing insight about their success. Plus, SWAT stars Shamar Moore and Lena are spilling secrets from the set of their new show. But first,
oh snap! We got your Hollywood Halloween recap.
She's a thriller. Heidi Klum never disappoints with her Halloween costume. Tuesday night, the model arrived to her Halloween party dressed as the werewolf from Michael Jackson's classic video. Is she in there?
Yeah,
I
you
think
can't even tell if it's her. Jenna Dewan and Channing Tatum sure stepped it up with their costumes. Jenna took to Instagram and posted the lovely couple dressed up as a spooky Sally and Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas with the caption, "When your daughter asks for Sally and Jack, you give her Sally and Jack. Happy Halloween, everyone."
They nailed it.
They put a lot into that.
That's Scandal star Bellamy Young dressed up as Mia Wallace from the movie Pulp Fiction, looking fierce. And look at that adorable hot diggity dog beside her. Oh my gosh. Dogs never like costumes, but that looks cute.
All right, we got a good one. This is supermodel Chrissy Teigen dressed as singer Carmen Miranda, complete with a fruit-covered headdress, with singer John Legend dressed up as a Groucho Marx, cigar and all.
And here is Demi Lovato dressed up as a cheeky cop. The singer posted on Instagram making an arrest, captioned, "What you gonna do when they come for you?"
I'd
What
let
you gonna
her
do
arrest
when they
me.
come for you? What's that?
I'd let her arrest me.
Me too.
Justin Timberlake and family dressed up as characters from Toy Story. JT rocked the Buzz Lightyear getup, while Jessica Biel wore a Jessie outfit, and their son Silas was adorably dressed as the rootin' tootin' cowboy himself, Woody.
If I was your boyfriend, never let you go. Keep you on my arm, girl. You never be alone.
Well, we're wondering if Justin will bring back this oldie for Selena. Sources say the pop superstar is more than happy his on-again, off-again ex has officially broken things off with The Weeknd. But does that mean Jelena is back on? Well, while an insider previously told People the former Flames are not back together, despite spending some quality one-on-one time over the weekend, a Bieber source says the 23-year-old entertainer would love nothing more than to rekindle the romance. The source reveals, quote, "They have so much to catch up on. They dealt with things separately this year that made them different people. It wouldn't be surprising if they got back together." Selena and the Biebs dated on and off from 2011 to 2015, but things have not always been pretty between the two. The former couple got into an Instagram spat last year after Bieber flaunted his new relationship with Sophia Richie on social media. But according to multiple sources, Bieber reached out to the Wolf singer after learning about her kidney transplant. The source goes on to say, quote, "It seems their relationship now is very different. Justin is certainly a much better person. He would be a better boyfriend, too." Although Selena's split from The Weeknd came as a surprise to some fans, an insider reveals that their breakup was bound to happen, explaining she and Abel, The Weeknd, have been going back and forth for a few months about their relationship. It's been hard with him being on tour and her shooting in New York. That wasn't easy on them. It's over for now, but they're still in touch. Guys, when Ricky Gervais hosted the Golden Globes in 2016, he promised to offend Hollywood, and he did not disappoint after getting lots of laughs and almost as much criticism. Would the funny man ever host again in the future? Well, People and Entertainment Weekly editorial director Jess Cagle gets to the bottom of it. Watch this.
Yeah, one day, yeah, I will, yeah. In fact, at the moment, there's something in the news every day that makes me go, "Oh, I wish I was doing the Globes tonight." You know, the first time they said, "Why is he saying these awful things to these lovely rich people?" Right? And I'm calling them scum. And now everyone knows I was right.
And with Ben Affleck, you kind of told the future there as well.
Well, again, you know, you do worry about the jokes because, you know, you want to make sure that there's not collateral damage in these things. You don't want to offend other people who are innocent. But I think it was enough. So you know, Matt Damon. I introduced Matt Damon as wonderful actor in the hilarious comedy The Martian, and also the only person who Ben Affleck hasn't been unfaithful to, Matt Damon. You know.
For more with Ricky Gervais, check out the full Jess Cagle interview streaming now on People.com.
Well, we are celebrating the 25 women changing the world in this week's issue of People. And some very familiar faces are sharing what all the naysayers said to their face before they made it big. Take a look.
They said that someone like me couldn't make it in this industry, and they did. They said we couldn't relaunch our careers in midlife, but we have.
They said I couldn't start a company, and I did.
They said I couldn't be a leader, but now I'm the CEO of a major nonprofit.
They told me I couldn't act in the United States because of my accent. And here we are in Hollywood.
They said I couldn't write myself into history, but I did.
They said that I wouldn't make it, but here I am.
Well, a lot of people said I couldn't survive in network news, and I'm still here.
They all said I couldn't do any of the things that I'm doing now, and I'm doing all of them somewhat well.
SWAT is so much more vigorous than it was on Criminal Minds. And after about 10, 11 takes of this one action sequence we did downtown LA, stepped back real tough to just get a real good start, and it felt like a sniper shot me. My calf just went, pow!
Oh, no.
It was just this pop, and I literally just buckled and went down.
My pinky, actually, got hurt a little bit in the making of a certain fight scene that I did. Now, because I've gotten all this training, when I go out and I see some certain injustices, I'm like, I can jump in there and maybe do a little something, and maybe I can take him down.
Moment.
But maybe that's just my head, just thinking way too big.
No, not just in your head, Lena. I'm pretty sure you can kick my butt, but that's not really saying much. Shamar Moore and Lena Esco star in the new CBS series SWAT. It's inspired by the 1970s TV show and subsequent feature film. The action-packed drama follows the fast-paced lives of the brave men and women who sacrifice everything in order to protect the city of Los Angeles. But with such high intensity on screen, how does the group relax once the cameras stop rolling? Well, it turns out nothing a group text can't fix. Watch.
We have a group text between the guys and us, me and Stephanie, and the guys are always sending these 20 emojis, and me and Stephanie keep it cool, like, okay, cool, guys. And they're all like, 20 emojis, hi, you guys. I was like, who are the guys here and who are the girls?
My favorite is my new favorite emoji, and I have to sit up to do this.
Oh, here we go.
My favorite emoji is this guy.
We're all doing our, 90% of our stunts, so from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to martial arts to pretty much everything.
You're gonna see me hanging off the side of a helicopter, and it's all me.
Oh, wow.
And I did this for 9 hours in a day. I'm on the outside on a little platform
Hanging off that thing.
with cables attached to me. Did this for 9 hours, but for the first hour when the cameras weren't rolling, I was scared to death. These are the men and women that really deal with life and death, have seen life and death. Somehow get the chutzpah, I guess, to leave home not knowing if they're going to come back to their families.
Every single day.
Even though they've seen the dark, they fight for the light. SWAT is an optimistic look at justice and changing the system. And can a TV show fix the problems of our society?
National Bullying Prevention Month is a nationwide campaign that takes place every October. But as we move into November, it's important to remember that the importance of bullying prevention never goes away. From Disney Channel standouts to TV starlets, Hollywood's most famous and familiar faces are sharing their advice on how they stand up to bullies. Listen up.
I think the best way to fight bullying would just be, I think sometimes you have to stand up to the bully. I don't mean to get physical with that person, but if you see someone being bullied, like, don't be afraid to speak up for them or to tell, a parent or a close friend or someone that you trust that they are being bullied. And I think just killing them with kindness.
So when it comes to bullying, I have a different approach. It might not be the most popular, but my thing is stand up to bullying by standing up for yourself. Bullying is never going to disappear, as tragic as that is. So my philosophy with my kids is don't be the victim. Stand up for yourself, defend yourself, do what you got to do, because that's the only way I see to combat bullying.
Remember that it's really not about you, it's about them. That doesn't make it hurt any less, but at least know that you're not alone and go talk to an adult. Talk to anybody, talk to your teachers, talk to your parents, talk to your other friends, because bullying is not okay. And it's really okay to say something about it and stop it.
The way I stand up to bullies is with kindness and love, because I think that's really what they need. They're misunderstood and probably really upset themselves. And it's been hard because I have had some internet bullying, and I just either don't respond or respond with kindness.
Well, we are back with more of People's 25 women who are changing the world. Knowing what they know now, what would some of the most successful, influential women in the world tell their younger selves? Take a look.
One thing that I wish I could have told my younger self is that you're beautiful just the way that you are, and you're gonna get through everything okay.
One thing I wish I could go back and tell my younger self is that history is not over. You are living history, and you have a role to play in it.
If I could give my younger version of myself an advice, I would say, don't be afraid to fail.
Your dreams and your visions for your future are real, that they're valid, and that you're deserving of taking up every single piece of that space for yourself.
Not to worry so much about what other people think of you, and date more. Date a lot more.
I want to know, I feel like there's more to that.
Yeah, right?
Jessica Alba's story.
Yeah.
Why date more?
Yeah, like what's the deal, Alba?
Anyway, good
love your
advice, maybe.
Either
All
way,
right.
either way, her husband has amazing underwear.
That is true.
Company,
That is true.
Thieves. I can't think of the name of it. I'll think of it while you talk.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
let's check in with Facebook Live one last time. We're asking you, what's your favorite way to get into the holiday spirit?
Lee Mary says shopping, movies, hot chocolate, and cookies. That all sounds fantastic to me.
John says setting up the lights. I do like setting up the lights. I also like getting trees, Christmas trees. Victoria says ready to eat the holiday foods, but dreading the holiday shopping. Yes.
Casey says I adore decorating the tree with the Christmas music blaring. That's fun, but can we just wait
I was just
do
going
the
to
tree
say
till
that. I was
after
just going to say that.
Thanksgiving?
Let's just take one holiday at a time. So first Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is coming.
You
Let's
can set up lights for Thanksgiving. Just no tree until after.
pumpkins, like the cornucopia thing.
Turkey, just like.
So Jessica Alba's husband's company is Pair of Thieves.
Nice.
Underwear, socks, cool stuff. Check it out.
The Army's coming through.
Coming through.
Coming through the deets.
And coming up tomorrow, Real Housewives of Atlanta star Cherie Whitfield dishes on the juicy details we can expect in season 10. Plus, singer-songwriter Grace Vanderwaal opens up about her new album dropping this month titled Just the Beginning.
All right, thank you so much for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from SWAT star Lena Esco. Enjoy.
Bye, guys.
Hi, my name is Lena Esco, and this is One Last Thing. The last time I laughed so hard, I cried. I watched a video called Cake Farts. The last show I binged watched, Ozark. Love Ozark.
Mom, what are we doing here? Your father's laundering money for a Mexican drug cartel.
The last song that was stuck in my head, I was listening to Luis Miguel. He is kind of like the Frank Sinatra of Mexico. And I just listened to that album, and I remember my grandfather used to play it as a kid. So the whole album, it's the romance album, actually.